So instead of me sleeping and getting ready in 2 hours for work, you know what we're going to be doing? We're going to be making a tier list. And I do want to make a tier list because I feel like you guys have been loving the Overwatch 2 content. So I'm just going to keep making Overwatch 2 content with my other stuff. Because especially now, because it's a new season of Siege, I'm definitely going to be streaming some Siege at some point. But let's get straight into this tier list. So let's start off with Bastion. Bastion is the most he's the easiest thing to kill because he's basically big as a tank. Like his HP, even though it's 350, you can just still basically beam him. Like he definitely does feel tankier, but like he just feels like a really shitty tank. That's the best way I'm gonna put Bastion. Yeah, he does hurt, but like if you just play your corners, he's honestly just kind of useless. I'll put him C because I think he's very situational. He can be good in some situations, but overall he's just kind of shit. Genji I'm gonna put in D because let's be real, Genji just has it the worst. No buffs. I would actually say they nerfed his ultimate because of too fast slashes. He just feels like either situational or you have to be extremely good at Genji to play him. So let's go for McCree. I'm gonna put him in A. That flashbang hindered shit. That flashbang is not flashbang. Let's be real. That shit is a heat-seeking missile. So it just like his flashbang right now is just extremely strong. I'm not gonna lie. I think he does pretty good damage too with his pistol. Diva, I think she's B. She's not good or bad. She's kind of like just a solid pick where she's like, if you play her, you can definitely get some value with her. And her matrix is still really good, you know. You can definitely eat a lot of ultimates from that. But her ultimate just kind of sucks. I feel like Diva now is like the soldier version of tank where you have all these like good shit, but the ultimate's kind of meh. Honestly, like Soldier I think is really good, but his ultimate it's just meh. But since we're talking about Soldier, I'm also gonna put him in B. Like Soldier is like probably one of my top 3 DPS mains, probably like my top 1 to be honest. And still, I don't think he's like crazy good or anything. He just beams, like because I like focus a lot, especially when I came first to PC. Even on console, I cared the most about my aim, and I feel like perfecting my aim was like the way to like just basically win any fight. And honestly, he is strong, but like he's not meta changing, you know. Like you can definitely just play around the Soldier. Like he feels fair, so he's a solid pick. I'll say same thing as Diva, just solid picks. Now Hanzo, that's the thing, right? This is a problem I have with Hanzo, right? The DPS passive basically means nothing to him, and he can't even one-shot like most of the characters that have like 250 HP. Anything with 250 HP, he can't one-shot. I think he does like 240 damage or something. It's like you can't really get picks with him anymore. Like yeah, he's good against Widow because he can still technically one-tap Widow, but like even then, it's like I think I'm gonna have to put him D. Like he's not bad. Like his Storm Iris is really good, especially against squishies. But like he doesn't feel bad. He's like either really high D or like just the bottom of C, where he feels very situational. Because his ultimate is still really good. That's the thing. There's good things about Hansel, but he just feels so off, and that's what you're gonna be hearing a lot lately. Because I feel like a lot of characters just don't fit in Overwatch 2 anymore. Junkrat, I think he's D. Honestly, Junkrat it's the same situation as Genji now. Unless you're a really good Junkrat, Junkrat just sucks. Like you can't do the 2-tap combo anymore, so you basically have to hit 3 shots. And honestly, for most people, trying to hit 3 shots with Junkrat is gonna be basically not impossible, but it's gonna be extremely hard for them. Like yeah, the skill gap for Junkrat has increased, but so has his value as a character. Because now he's a lot more punishable. Like if you don't hit like the 3-tap combo, you're not screwed, because obviously if you hit 2 times, that person that's a squishy is definitely gonna be low HP. But he's just gonna, it's like that kill should have already been made. Like if you're walking into a Junkrat and you get hit by 2 of his shots, like you should be dead. So I feel like he still gets value from like spam and everything. Like he's not, so I mean he's not horrible. He just doesn't really fit in the meta. It's kind of crazy how lots of characters don't really fit into Overwatch 2 ever since they changed the health to like 250. And you know what? I'm going to do the same thing with Symmetra. I think Symmetra is like one of those characters that's just not even played anymore. Like I never see any Symmetras. She's just kind of, I'm not going to say she's useless. No, she is kind of useless. Like her TP doesn't really do much. Her turrets are kind of like whatever. And then her primary fire, you have to basically be really close and keep constantly firing. But it's like, in actual seriousness, like Symmetra she just kind of sucks. Like her TPs, just whatever. Now Lucio we're gonna put in S because this motherfucker is goated. Like Lucio's speed boost, just the speed boost alone just makes him extremely good for many comps, especially like when you're trying to play rush comp or dive comp or even brawl. Like Lucio's the one you need. Like there's so many times where I've had like a one trick Ryan And I was like, let me go Lucio for you, bro. And it literally Ryan just gets instant value just because he has an extra speed movement. Like Lucio is really, really good, man. And because now it's 5v5, you don't have to do as crazy amount of healing as before. Because your teammates are going to obviously, especially in higher elo, your teammates are going to be smart and play around the corners. So having a Lucio he's top tier, man. Now for Mei, honestly, I think she's at the bottom now. Like, she can't one-shot Tracer anymore. She can't really do anything long range because she's projectile and their hit scan. Do you want honestly? Like, I guess it could be good against Doom? Nah, I'm actually gonna put her in D. I don't think she's good at all anymore. Yeah, I can't think of like a good situation now where Mei is like really good, except for like King's Row, like the first point. But even then, like if your team's on the idiots, just shoot the wall. See, that's the thing about Mercy. I don't think she's C. I think she's probably like B or C. It's just one of these two. But honestly, I'm gonna put her in B. Do you know why? Because she has Res and Blue Beam. Res and Blue Beam are actually really strong. Like especially if she can Valk and Res a tank, it just literally makes like fights not longer, but you definitely have like that second chance of actually winning a fight. And then she has Blue Beam as well, so if you add like a hit scan with her Blue Beam, that hit scan's gonna be dominating and diffing your DPSs. Just like she's really good, but I feel like sometimes it is situational. But I feel like her healing isn't as bad. Like it's not awful, but it's not crazy good either. She's just kind of, I think she's like just an easy character to play, and you can still help your team get extreme value just from getting reses and blue beams. Because the thing with Mercy as well is she can't really carry as well. Like there's no carry potential. But I'm gonna put in C because I feel like the whole blue beaming is very situational. Because if your DPS is ass cheeks, then yeah, you basically lose. Now Pharah, honestly, I think she's a sleeper peak. This is where you can tell I'm really tired. Holy shit, she's a sleeper pick because honestly, I think Pharah is still really good. Like the rocket projectile speeds are fucking insane. You got more damage with your boop now. You have way more movement, dynamic movement, sorry. She just feels like, honestly, like Pharah just feels really good, especially if you add it with a Mercy. She's so like, still really, really good. Now, granted, I do Pharahs and everything, so maybe it's because I'm in lower elo. But yeah, I would say Pharah is low-key. Like, I don't see too many Pharahs as I used to before. I still see her a lot, but not as much. But I think she's definitely like goated. And if we're going to talk about sleeper picks, it has to be Echo as well. Echo is low-key one of the best DPSs in the game. She can't one-tap people from far range like fucking Sojourn when they're half HP. But honestly, Echo is such a good... She's like a Pharah, but that doesn't need a Mercy. Like honestly, you can just play Echo solo. She does crazy burst damage. You can basically just beam any squishy in like a second. Then you have the flight so you can just get out. She's honestly a sleeper pick. But I don't think she's S. Mainly because she can get like hard counted or like just beamed. It's like you have to be a really, really good Echo. And I would say Echo's like one of my favorite characters to play as well. You have to be really good, especially in the higher elos, to like play without pocket and this and that. But if you know how to play without a pocket, you're honestly a demon. And Reaper, I'm going to put him in D. I literally don't see any more Reaper players. I don't understand why as well, because it's just, especially with how tanky tanks are now and how much the healings and all this like bullshit abilities, Reaper just sucks. Like, yeah, if they go Winston, Reaper will literally shit on him. But honestly, Reaper doesn't feel good at all. Like, I don't think he's useless. Like, he doesn't feel as bad as Genji, but he feels so like situational. It's like, yeah, you can do good with him and like rarely in like 1 in 8 matches or something. Like, he doesn't really feel good at all. And now, when it comes to Ryan, sadly, I'm gonna have to put him in D still. Like, I literally don't see a point in playing Ryan still. Like, Ryan, I still think is unplayable, even in Season 10 with the buffs. Because it's not just Ryan that got buffed, it was the other tanks too. And now we're literally in like the Hog Orisa meta again. It just kind of sucks. I love Ryan. Like, I actually do love Ryan. Roadhog is S. I don't need to say anything about him. Just as soon as you get hooked, you're dead. If you don't play Ana against Hog, he's basically almost unkillable. Like, he's actually generally just insane right now. I know what, Torbjorn? I think he's C. I was gonna put him B, but he's not as consistent. Like, he is very situational where it's like, with certain comps, he really does exceed. Like, he will dominate against certain comps, but overall, he's just kinda... His turret is pretty strong though, like, especially in the 5v5 format. Having a turret is a really nice, like, added touch. but I don't think Torbjorn is like crazy good. But the thing is, his shotguns do crazy damage. Like he does actually, Torbjorn actually does have crazy damage, but I wouldn't make him like a solid pick. I think he is still very situational, but I think he's still good. It's a hard one to be honest. But right now in this meta, nah, I would leave him a C. He does feel very situational. Tracer's S, no need to say more. 3 blinks, rewind, basically just one clips any fucking squishy she sees. She's still really good. Like honestly, Tracer feels like the only character that hasn't changed in Overwatch 2. Like everyone plays it the same way. Tracer's just Tracer. Like honestly, you don't have to rely on your team. You rely on yourself. You rely on yourself to get picks. So I feel like characters that rely on themselves, ironically enough, if you're looking at my tier list, the characters that rely on themselves they just exceed for most, honestly. But now I'm gonna destroy that whole ideology because Widowmaker, I'm putting her an S. I'm sorry, but if I can basically just tap heads and play Kovacs, that's how easy Widow is. And it's not even that, it's not the fact that you can get like headshots easily, it's more like, it's the fact that literally because now there's one less tank, she doesn't have to deal with much, and then even if she does get dive, she'll just grab a hook. So with Widowmaker, it just feels like she's so free in 5v5. Like she can literally just dominate, even if she doesn't get any kills. The fact that she's there just changes the way you have to play the game. Now Winston, I'm gonna put in B. Something's telling me to put him B. I feel like I don't think he's as good as D.Va. Like I prefer Winston over D.Va, but I don't think Winston is as good as D.Va just because I don't know. Like I feel like he's good. Like he has a solid pick. Like you just go for the backlines, you distract them, you just mess with them, and that's really it. Like Winston's fun, but I don't know if he's really good because especially in this map. I'm gonna put him in C. He's very situational because in this meta right now with the Hog and Malgas and Orissas, he just feels gooky. But he's not that bad, honestly. Like he's not, this is the thing, right? All these characters in like season D's, I don't think any of them are actually genuinely bad, but just because of like how the other characters are basically just way better, that's the only reason why I'm putting him in C and D. It actually hurts me a little bit because I like Genji, Junkrat, Hanzo, Reaper, I like one of my favorite characters, and it's just, it hurts to see, man. But yeah, even Winston as well has to go and see, man. He feels very situational. And now we're gonna talk about Zarya. I'm putting her in C as well. I think she's very situational. She's still really strong especially with her high beam. But the main issue is that it just still feels kinda meh. Like the only time I ever play Zarya is when I go against a Sigma. And then as soon as a Sigma switch, then it's basically I have to get Zarya. She feels just feels extremely like very situational. Like there's never a time where I can just be like, yeah, I can pick Zarya and just stick with her. It's like the only time I like to play Zarya is just when I'm playing against like a Sigma one trick. And now for Zen, honestly, I think it's still A. Like the fact that you can just the discords and tanks just beam them. Even when a tank health bars, like I literally still get I shit my pants with Zen, just because as soon as I see that Discord, boom, I feel like it's over. So honestly with Zen, I might have to, like the only reason I'm not going to put him in S is because he doesn't really have much mobility and he doesn't really do anything crazy. Like his season's not crazy, but that just having that Discord just makes him an A. It's like in a similar boat with McCree's flashbang. Like McCree would probably be like a B or C if he didn't have his flashbang, this OP. And Zen's Discord, it's not OP because it makes sense, you know, do more damage to like whatever target Discord, but like it kinda is OP at the same time because it does beam tanks like crazy. And because in the 5v5 format, you're basically just going to be focusing on that one tank. If everyone decides to basically just shoot the Discord, you're going to get beamed like that. And now when it comes to Ana, see the thing is, right, I think she's a solid pick. Like there's nothing, like Ana is literally perfect. You have a sniper and you can heal from far. You have sleep and you have an anti-nade. Like she's so good, like especially against Hog. But we have characters like Kiriko and Bat. Okay, honestly, Bat is not even that bad. It's Kiriko. The fact that she can just basically Suzu her antis and just like, it's a good thing because it takes Suzu out of the equation. And honestly, every time I see a Hog, I scream at my teammates to go Ana. Because I know if the Ana antis the Hog, the Kiriko is gonna have no Suzu. So I just always go for the Kiriko when she has no Suzu. So I think, honestly, I think she's gonna be a solid pick. Like I want to say she's situational to get like extreme virality, but she's like in a weird spot where she is useful, but like Kiriko just counters her. And since we're talking about Kiriko, boom. S tier. I'm sorry, but that Suzu shit is just ridiculous. Even after 10 seasons, Suzu is still like one of the most oppressive and best utils in the game. There's a reason why the meta is like this now with like Hog, Malga, Orisa, especially for the tanking. It's just because Suzu just exists. And honestly, how can I blame people for like basically not using Kiriko? And that's why Hog is so played as well right now, specifically because if you don't have a Hog, if you don't have a Kiri with a Hog, Hog just feels ass cheeks. I'm not gonna lie to you. Maybe play without Kiri, but if they go Ana and you don't have a Kiri, then you're kind of in a weird boat. I'm not gonna lie, but I think Ana's still good because she does make Kiri use the Suzu. But I'm pretty sure in the higher elos, if you anti a Hog and your team's nowhere near the Hog, if the Kiri actually is smart and saves it, then Ana would be more like a C. But honestly, I see a lot of Kiris just instantly like Suzuing their road hogs when they're anti-ed. So honestly, that's why I think Ana's a solid pick, and that's why I think Kiri is a S tier, just because she does so much already. Now Sombra, I'm gonna put in B. I think she's a solid pick, especially when it comes to dive tanks. She basically just shuts them down. And even then, she's not as good as Tracer, where you can, one-clip people. Like you can with the cube and then shooting them, but it doesn't feel the same as Tracer, where you're literally just like blink, you shoot them down. If you don't get the kill, you blink and punch them, or you blink away, just depending on the situation of the fight. With Sombra, it just feels like I feel like I end up hitting my cube and I shoot them and they don't die, so I always end up running away. I don't know, maybe it's because something, but I have more consistent kills with Tracer than I do with Sombra. So I think she's a solid pick, especially if you want to shut down the tank. But she's not crazy. She's not really crazy. Well, I'm actually gonna put her in. No, she's a solid pick. Orisa, this is kind of a hard one. I'm not really sure. I don't feel like she's an S tier. I feel like she's more A. I would definitely say she's more A. Nah, this is a hard one honestly, because Orisa's like, she's either like a really low S or a really high A. Honestly, I think she's S still. Like, you have Fortify, and not only do you get damage reduction, you get 125 health. And then you have the Javelin Spin, which basically negates any incoming damage at you. And then not even that, you have the Javelin Spin as well. So she basically just shuts down Doom completely. Or any character that's like vulnerable to CC. So honestly, yeah, I think Orisa's still S tier just because of how much util she just has. Like, it's actually insane. Doomfist, D. Basically like Genji, where he's not bad. Like he's a good character, but like he gets no value for outplaying. Like honestly, like if I see a Doomfist, I'm just putting the biggest smile on my face because I know I can just go Roadhog and just shit on him. Doesn't even matter how good the Doomfist is compared to me. It could be like rank fucking, he could be like 2 ranks above me, and just because I picked a character that counters Doom, he just basically gets completely shut down because it's 5v5. I think I think it deserves D. Like, you have to be extremely good for Doom. And then Moira, I think she's C. Like, she's basically just a heal, but all she does is heal, or she either just damages. Like, I hate Moira players in general because they don't know how to balance between damage and healing. So honestly, I think she's just, I want to put her in D, to be honest. But she's not as bad as like Genji, Junkrat, so I'm just gonna put in C. Like, she just feels very situational, but it's just like, yeah, you can get picked sometimes, but like it's not really, like, she's just kind of whatever, to be honest. But honestly, with Brigitte, there's not a lot of brawl comp, so I'm actually gonna have to put in C. Even if she is a really good character, especially against dive, I think C, because honestly right now in the meta, it's basically just poke. So I think with Brigitte, she's kind of ass, depending on what situation though. Like, sometimes she can just exceed in situations, but honestly, nah, she's not that crazy good. Now, even though I've been complaining about 5v5 tanks and me trying to play ball and stuff like that, and then me just getting hard counted by everything, I think he's still extremely strong. I don't think he's S tier because he doesn't have, I don't think he's A, I think he's B. But he does get so much value, and he can basically solo carry games. But there is a learning curve with ball. You do need to learn him, which puts off quite a few people off of ball, because there are so many like good techniques that you do need to learn to become like the best of type of ball player. Some people just don't really want to put in the time. But honestly, I would say if you can put in a few hours and into just learning this character, you can be literally, I would put him more in A if it was easier to play. But because he does have that learning curve, I'll put him B. Like, he's a strong pick where you don't need to be super crazy good to get value from him. But if you're super crazy good, you can get lots of value from him, and people are just going to counter swap to you. They're going to get people that mad. Now, Ashe, I think she's a solid pick. Like, I don't think she's crazy good anymore as she used to be, but she still feels like really good, especially when you have Bob as well. You can stall points, or you can use them to get into the backline and just basically force them to like move. I think she's still pretty good. I do like playing her the most on payload maps as well because of Bob. Like, I think Ashe is good. Damage is good. I do like Kush Gun and Dynamite. I think she's good. When it comes to back, I think it's A tier. I'm sorry, but Happy is just, he has immortality, he has good damage, regenerative burst, which is basically self-healing and healing people around him, area effect. And then his ultimate basically gives a window of double healing or double damage, and honestly, he's so good. Like, I wouldn't put him in S. Dude, I might put him in S, you know, because he just does everything, you know. Yo, fuck it, I'm gonna put him in. Nah, it doesn't feel right. He's A. Because the main difference though is between him and Kiriko is that he doesn't have crazy movement. Like, yeah, he does have the high jumps, but he doesn't have any good movement when it comes to like actually getting away and stuff. But his damaging and like his damage is pretty fucking insane. Like, there's so many times when I've 1v1 the BAP and they literally, sometimes the BAP almost kills me just because he basically has a second life of immortality. So I think he's definitely a strong pick. Like, he's definitely high in an A tier list, or he could even be bottom of S. Should I make it this more controversial? Fuck it, I'm putting him S. If we're talking about S as well, Sojourn, I'm sorry, but this character's stupid. Like the character's literally, I think the character's kind of perfect in every single way, but that railgun shit is just ridiculous. Like, if I see someone that's like tickled a little bit of health, I literally have the biggest smile on my face, like creeping cheek to cheek and everything, because I know if I just right click, they're dead. And it happens a lot. Like, even since season 1 to 10, she's still like so strong just because she has that railgun. That railgun, it's just too good. It's basically like having a widow shot. I have literally like out-aimed widows with the right clicks. Like, it's just too good. Like, honestly. Now, when it comes to Sigma, solid pick. Or even A, to be honest. I think he's A. Because he has shield, kinetic grasp, rock, and he's easy to play as well. Like, honestly, like, if you struggle with Sigma, literally just look at your cooldowns and play with them around. Depending on what character they're playing, like, especially if I go Sigma versus Sigma, it's so easy to tell what they're gonna do from the moves. Like, if they throw a rock, then I just throw a shield at the rock. And then when they use the kinetic grasp, I just use rock. Like, he's very easy to play. It's like he definitely has like that kind of like almost rock paper scissors, especially when you go Sigma versus Sigma. But it's the same thing with Hug as well, where like if you definitely feel like Hug is gonna hook, you throw your shield, and then after he hooks you, you just use kinetic grasp and get away. And then when he's low and he's trying to run and heal, you can just rock him. Like, Sigma's actually really good. Like, he has so much util. But I don't think he's an S, just mainly because he doesn't have any. Don't know. I'm actually gonna put him in S. I'm sorry. I think he's extremely strong. Joker Queen, B. I think she's a solid pick. Like, she's not as good as Roadhog, but her ultimate's extremely strong. I do like her knife throw. I do like her shout. I do like the E slash. But I feel like Roadhog is just way better than her, like in every single way. Like, the hooks basically just bring you to him. So like, Jungle Queen's like kind of a basically a skinny and faster version of Roadhog, but I think she's still really good. And Eve and Ram, honestly, I'm gonna put him in C. I think he's very situational, because especially in like mostly in poke and brawl, like he's only good in brawl. Like, anything else, he just feels kind of like Sigma and Ryan. He's really good against, but like Junker Queen, Hog, Orisa, Malga, he's kind of just there. So I think it's just situational. I think it's situational. Same thing with Life Uva. I think it's situational. Like, his pull is really good, but his healing and the leaf and stuff, it's just kind of like useless unless you're like playing DPS. You can actually have like free high ground and just beam people from above. So I think he's not bad, but compared to the other supports, he's just kind of meh. And even the same with Alari. I think Alari is, she's not bad, but she's not good either. She's like in a weird spot again as well, but especially because with the health increase, she basically can't like do as crazy damage as she could before, so she's just kind of in the middle. And her healing pylon, it is really nice that you can like DPS and heal at the same time, but honestly, you know what? That ultimate is fucking crazy though. That ultimate is arguably, I actually think her ultimate is arguably better than Ash's. If you guys saw my video yesterday, like honestly, I think Alari was extremely strong before. Like even her ult now, I think it's still extremely strong. So I think she's actually good if you're like a DPS main, but still it feels like she's very situational, where it's like she's not gonna thrive in every situation. And sometimes that pylon can be more of a hinder than a savior, just because if you forget it and your team's pushing, either it gets destroyed so you can barely heal your team, because her normal healing, like right click, is kind of ass. I think Venture's the same thing as well. She's very, very just situational. She doesn't, like, yeah, it's cool that we have like this combo character now and everything, but like Soldier, Ashe, Pharah, Echo, McCree, like they just do everything better than her. Like she's not bad, but not crazy either. Malga, C. S, sorry. I'm sorry, but actually, you know what? I don't think Malga is crazy good anymore, but he still feels extremely strong. You know what? No, I'm putting him in S. I'm sorry. I still think he's extremely strong. Like he doesn't, like, honestly, I feel more frustrating trying to fight a Hog than a Malga right now, but Malga still feels extremely good. It's like the only tank that really competes against him is Hog and Sigma and Diva. But even then, like, he just beams too much. Like, especially if you're close up, he will just literally shred your health in like half a second. And then he also has that passive that basically just heals him the more damage he does. It's just fucking ridiculous. But yeah, this is the tier list done. There's no more. And I gotta say, I feel pretty confident about this. I feel like I did make many L takes, but I feel like I did make a lot more W's, because even though I am half asleep, I still feel like this makes a lot of sense. So if you guys enjoyed the video, please, please, please keep sharing it, keep sharing the love. We're actually just hit 126 subs. I don't know what happened yesterday. I just uploaded this video and we hit 126. So if you guys can just keep sharing as much love as you can, join the Discord as well, link in the descriptions, and hopefully today at maybe 3 p.m. we'll be streaming some Siege. So make sure you go and link in the description to check out my socials, and peace out guys. Love you all.